and then I wore a condom, which you should always do, but a condom is just a chokehold for your boner.
Welcome to This Is Not Happening presents One Crazy Night. So this is what we do. We're a bunch of comedians tell stories about a similar subject. So this is just one crazy night. Give it up for Mr. Kyle Kinane, everybody.
How's it going? Sorry there's no naked ladies here, but a bunch of dudes that look like me. What a suitable replacement. I'll just let you into my life so you know my point of view on things. Yesterday I picked my nose, and then I didn't want to wipe it on my couch. But I was too lazy to get up and get a Kleenex, so I put it back in my nose. So now that you know that about me, let's get into some current events. 2 weeks ago during sex, a woman sighed into my face. In my face, just went, ugh, to my face. During sex, not before, like, ugh, I guess we're gonna do this. Not after, like, ugh, that happened. In the middle, 2 thumbs down to the movie before she finished watching it. Ugh, you can't do that to somebody's face during sex. Ugh. Listen, you don't have to fake an orgasm, but don't act like I wrote you a parking ticket in the middle of it. All right? If you want me to retain my enthusiasm. It was like 3 a.m, you know, there was booze and then there was some hash on top of that, and then I wore a condom, which you should always do, but a condom is just a chokehold for your boner. That's all it is. A condom at 3 a.m, is just like, you go to sleep right now. You go to sleep. There's gonna be some al dente moments, you know? So it's like, you know, just like, yeah, okay, you know, but you don't have to act like it's that, like, yeah, I'm gonna thumb this in you for the next 20 minutes. By the way, your meter ran out, so that was a Tuesday night. It's Wednesday. I went and got some Japanese noodles, which is already a dumb look. Noodles going to this stupid face, this look. Can we be done with this already? This stupid look for guys. Like, this isn't a fetish. How can we keep every comedian on the show so far? Like, women like this. Yeah, women want to be reminded of their dad's friend that used to show up in the early 80s. That he only knew briefly during Nam. He'd come over to the house and he'd stare at me a little too long, but it wasn't sexual. You could tell just because I reminded him of the girl he couldn't say from the village he was ordered to burn down. It's a dumb look. It's stupid. All this is like when girls use like the big waistband to hide their bellies. This is just guys hiding fat chins. That's all this is. So that's this. There's noodles hanging out of this. I just did pajama bottoms, looking out the window, just wondering about, like how can I improve? Maybe not take the dead man's elbow 3 minutes into it. Just, oh God. That's the giveaway, the death roll. We're crumbling, the tent's falling. What if I just lay on you and wiggle? So I'm having noodles, and I'm looking out the window, and there's just like whatever, some shitty Depeche Mode soundtrack on the 80s XM thing playing, and in a car ran into the building next to where I was sitting. Just right next, 10 feet away, ran over the sidewalk into the building. That was it, just crash-o right there. 10 feet over, me in the window, noodles, Depeche Mode, pajamas. And that was almost the end. That could have been the end. You want to think that your last moment is gonna be epic. It's gonna be your life flashing before you. And you're gonna be like, there's every beautiful moment in loved one. Or shit, what if it's regrets? That's everything I did wrong. But the end of your life might just be that. Noodles, Depeche Mode, car, and you're just going, fucking seriously? And you're dead. Like, that could be the end of it all. And that's the most unpoetic thing that could have happened on top of ugh. And that's that kills me to know that. Because you realize that especially now in this day and age, you're gonna have a soundtrack to your death. Everybody's gonna walk around. You got your headphones in, everybody's listening to something or this and that. You're gonna have a soundtrack to your death. And it's not gonna be a good soundtrack because you don't listen to the good shit that you hope people would judge you on when it's just jammed in your ears. No, it's just Prince's 1999 on repeat while you're at the bank. Boop, 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 just because you don't care. And that's how you're gonna die. I drove through a gang shootout in East LA listening to the Go-Go's greatest hits in my car. That's how I almost perished once on this earth. I pulled off, it was 8 years ago, wasn't so great. Pulled off Avenue 52 there, and I pull off just singing Vacation. That one's my favorite. I like Vacation personally. So I pull off Vacation's playing, and in the bushes right by the exit, there's some roustabout tussling there, some rapscallion. I like to refer to gang members as old-timey villain terms. It kind of makes the whole thing a little bit easier to palate, So this rapscallion's just tussling about here. I'm like, what's he doing over here? Well, ne'er-do-well, this guy. I just continue singing Vacation. I get about a block and a half down through the chorus, And then there's another young Latino youth, and he's crambling behind a van. Now, crambling's not a word. But I think if I say it enough, people will start, crambling. It's like something Willie Nelson would have made up. Like, how was that tour back in 72? Oh, we were just crambling through West Texas, what I mean? Me and Waylon just crambling in the back of the bus there, man. So he's crambling. And he's holding what I believe to be a microscope, because that's how much I know about firearms. I just saw something metallic and tubular. I was like, what's this midnight scientist up to over here? This guy's getting that schoolwork done, burning the midnight oil. You get that scholarship. You get out of these surroundings. You get that scholarship. Until I read, oh no, it's a pistol, and they were shooting at each other, and that's what I just drove through singing Belinda Carlisle lyrics. And that could just be it. That could be the end of your life. Vacation, all I ever wanted. Vacation, there's a guy with a gun. And that was the end. That was my messed up week. So that's it. Thanks for listening.
Hey, wasn't that an amazing story? If you liked it, why don't you click like over there so other people know about it? And then also leave a comment so you can get into a whole flame war with people and start a fight with people you don't even know. And then subscribe so you get next week's This Is Not Happening story as soon as it comes out. This is not happening. This is not happening!